The Cipher Heist. The neon signs of Sector 4 flickered against the relentless rain, casting oily rainbows on the asphalt. Elias Thorne didn't mind the rain. It washed away the scent of gunpowder. He stood on the edge of a rusted fire escape, watching the heavy armored transport weave through the subterranean traffic of the lower city. It carried the Cipher, a biometric drive containing the keys to the city's water filtration system. In the wrong hands, it was a weapon of mass extinction. 3 minutes out, Elias, a voice crackled in his earpiece. It was Sarah, his eyes in the sky. The convoy has 2 outriders, magnetic pulse rifles. If they see you, you're toast. They won't see me, Elias muttered. He stepped off the ledge. The wind screamed past his ears as he fell 40 feet, his mag tethers snapping tight just inches above the transport's roof. He landed with a muffled thud that was lost in the roar of the city's industrial fans. Elias pulled a thermal cutter from his belt. The blue flame hissed against the reinforced steel. 30 seconds. The first layer of plating gave way. 60 seconds. The internal alarms began to wail. 90 seconds. The roof panel slammed inward. Elias dropped into the hold. 2 guards turned, their rifles swinging upward, but Elias was faster. He swept the legs of the first guard and used the man's momentum to launch himself at the second. A sharp elbow to the jaw, a disarming twist of the wrist, and both men were down before they could pull a trigger. He grabbed the Cipher, a small glowing cylinder, and turned to the extraction hatch. "I'm clear, Sarah. Get the bird ready." Silence. "Sarah?" The transport suddenly lurched. The heavy brakes screeched, throwing Elias against the bulkhead. The back doors hissed open, revealing not an extraction team, but a line of black-clad mercenaries. At their center stood Sarah, holding a silenced pistol leveled at his chest. "I'm sorry, Elias," she said, her voice devoid of its usual warmth. The syndicate offered more than a clean conscience ever could. Elias didn't hesitate. He didn't vent or argue. He acted. He smashed the emergency release on the transport's side-mounted fuel cells. A roar of pressurized gas filled the cabin. As Sarah fired, Elias dove through the open back doors, tucking into a roll as he hit the wet pavement at 50 miles per hour. The explosion behind him was a blooming orange flower of heat and shrapnel. It tossed the mercenary vehicles like toys. Elias scrambled to his feet, his duster smoking, and ducked into the labyrinth of the South Side slums. The hunt was on. He had no backup, no extraction, and the entire city's elite private army was about to descend on his position. But he had the Cipher, and Elias Thorne was never better than when he was backed into a corner. An hour later, Elias was cornered on the Sky Bridge, a narrow glass walkway suspended 200 stories above the city floor. Behind him, Sarah and a dozen mercenaries. In front of him, a locked security gate. "Nowhere to run, Elias," Sarah shouted over the wind. "Give me the drive and I'll make it quick." Elias looked at the Cipher, then at the sheer drop beside him. He looked Sarah in the eye and smiled, a cold, jagged thing. "You always did forget one thing about these bridges, Sarah," he shouted back. He pulled a small EMP charge from his boot and slammed it into the glass walkway beneath his feet. Crack. The structural integrity of the reinforced glass shattered instantly. The entire section of the bridge tilted. As the mercenaries scrambled for handholds, Elias used his mag tethers to latch onto a passing cargo drone 3 levels below. He fell into the abyss, trailing a defiant laugh as the drone whisked him away into the clouds, leaving the syndicate empty-handed in the rain. The cargo drone groaned under the sudden weight, its thrusters whining as it banked sharply away from the crumbling sky bridge. High above, the silhouette of the syndicate mercenaries grew smaller, their muzzle flashes flickering like dying stars against the rain. Elias adjusted his grip on the drone's cold chassis, his knuckles white. He wasn't safe yet. The drone was programmed for a high-altitude warehouse in the North Sector, right into the lion's den. The landing. He couldn't ride this all the way. He needed to find a blind spot in the city's thermal grid to drop off. The Cipher. He pulled the drive from his pocket. It pulsed with a steady, amber light, the heartbeat of a dying corporation. Sarah had been right about one thing. The syndicate would never stop. But they didn't know he had already begun transmitting the data to the underground networks the moment he hit the air. The message. He tapped his comms, a direct frequency he hadn't used in years. "This is Thorn," he rasped into the mic, watching the neon lights of the lower city rush toward him. "The cage is open. Tell the slums to get ready. It's going to be a long night. Thank you for watching."